Pause for a second. Before you swipe past this, answer one question honestly, and don't rush it. Do you believe that being a good person keeps you safe? That kindness shields you from harm. That generosity earns loyalty. That honesty guarantees respect? If even one of those feels true to you, you've swallowed one of the most dangerous beliefs society ever packaged as virtue. Here's the reality no one wants to admit. Being good does not make you safe. In many cases, it makes you exposed. Goodness, when used blindly, behaves like a slow-burning fire. It doesn't explode all at once. It quietly eats through your relationships, your position, your confidence, your future, until one day you realize there's nothing left standing. Niccolò Machiavelli understood this centuries ago. He wasn't some bitter cynic writing from theory. He watched the world closely. He observed benevolent rulers lose their thrones. He saw merciful leaders betrayed by those they protected. He witnessed generous men destroyed by the very people they lifted up. And he documented the pattern with ruthless clarity. What you're about to hear isn't motivational fluff. It's the hidden cost of goodness, the part nobody warned you about. In the next few minutes, you'll understand why your niceness may be eroding your power, why people don't actually respect kindness the way you were taught, and most importantly, how to turn goodness from a liability into a controlled weapon. But let's get something straight before we go any further. This is not a call to become cruel. This is not an invitation to harm people. This is about precision, not malice, because there's a difference between being morally grounded and being strategically naive. In a world filled with wolves, choosing to remain a sheep isn't noble, it's suicidal. So before we continue, write this in the comments and mean it. I choose strategic goodness. From this point forward, you stop giving blindly. You stop sacrificing without calculation. You stop confusing virtue with weakness. In this video, we're going to expose why goodness doesn't always protect you, and why, in many cases, it actively destroys you. Then we'll break down how to redesign it into something that commands respect instead of inviting exploitation. Let's start with the first uncomfortable truth. Number 1, goodness as exposure. Think about the kindest person you know. Really picture them. Now answer this honestly. Are they genuinely respected? Or are they simply useful? Being consistently good doesn't make people feel safe around you. It makes you predictable, and predictability is vulnerability. When people know you'll always be understanding, they push further. When they know you won't say no, they stop asking politely. When they sense you won't retaliate, they stop respecting your limits. You become the dependable doormat, the coworker who absorbs extra work, the friend who always pays, the family member who's always available, even when it costs you. I once knew a team leader who embodied everything society praises. He defended his staff, covered their mistakes, sacrificed his own time, and consistently put others first. When promotion time came, he was passed over. Why? Because kindness alone doesn't signal authority. It signals compliance. People don't instinctively follow those who give endlessly. They lean on them. When help is unlimited, it loses value. When boundaries don't exist, they're crossed without hesitation. When someone never bares their teeth, the world assumes they have none. Your goodness sends a message, and if you're not careful, the message is, I can be taken advantage of. Machiavelli captured this perfectly when he wrote that the fox cannot defend himself from wolves, and the lion cannot avoid traps. Survival requires knowing when to be cunning and when to be feared. Yet most people try to survive by being harmless. And that's exactly why they keep getting hurt. Write this in the comments. I protect my energy. Now let's move to the second truth, and this one stings even more. Number 2. The generosity trap. Here's a paradox most people never see coming. The more you give, the less people value it. It sounds wrong. It feels uncomfortable, but it's psychologically accurate. Generosity creates immediate praise. You're admired, complimented, appreciated at first. But over time, something corrosive sets in. Repeated generosity doesn't create gratitude. It creates expectation. Help someone once, and they're thankful. Help them twice, and they appreciate you. Help them repeatedly, and it becomes assumed. What was once extraordinary becomes routine. And the moment you hesitate, even once, everything flips. They don't remember the 10 times you showed up. They remember the single time you didn't. Now you're selfish. Now you've changed. Now you're the villain. Look at parents who give their children everything. At first, the gifts feel magical. Then they feel normal. Eventually, they feel owed. Take the gift away once, and suddenly, you're unfair. The same pattern plays out everywhere. You always pay at dinner. You always drive. You always help people move, solve problems, fix crises. Eventually, no one thanks you. They just wait for you to do it again. And when you finally need support, silence. This is the generosity trap. You give until giving becomes your role, and roles are prisons. Your generosity doesn't create loyalty, it creates dependency. And dependency always turns into resentment when the supply slows down. There's a psychological mechanism behind this called hedonic adaptation. Humans rapidly adjust to positive experiences. What once felt special becomes baseline. What once felt generous becomes invisible. But refusal? Refusal is unforgettable. At work, if you always stay late, no one applauds it anymore. Leave on time once, and suddenly, you're not committed. Your goodness fades into the background. Your boundaries explode into the spotlight. And that imbalance is what quietly destroys people who pride themselves on being good. In relationships, the same rule applies. If you're always the one who bends, bending becomes the expectation. But the moment you stand firm, just once, you're labeled difficult, selfish, or cold. That's not because you changed. It's because you disrupted the pattern people were benefiting from. Machiavelli understood this dynamic perfectly when he wrote that favors should be delivered slowly so they're felt more deeply. What he was pointing to is a principle most people never grasp. Scarcity creates value. Excess destroys it. When access to you, your time, or your generosity is unlimited, it loses weight. When it's measured, intentional, and selective, it gains power. Write this in the comments. I give strategically. Now let's move to something even more uncomfortable. Number 3, the mask of virtue. Here's the truth most people refuse to face. Society does not reward reality. It rewards appearance. People don't evaluate who you truly are. They judge what you seem to be. They don't study your intentions. They react to your image. This means something critical. If you want influence, respect, or authority, you must appear virtuous while maintaining control beneath the surface. Look closely at highly successful people. Do you really think they rose to the top by being endlessly kind to everyone around them? No, they were deliberate. They were selective. They understood timing. They present warmth publicly and make ruthless decisions privately. They extend mercy when it strengthens their position and enforce boundaries when it doesn't. They understand that the appearance of goodness is often more effective than goodness itself. This isn't about being fake. It's about being intelligent. Think of it like a surgeon. A surgeon causes pain to save a life. Is that cruelty or competence? Real leadership often looks harsh in the moment. Real responsibility sometimes requires disappointing people. Real protection sometimes demands firmness instead of sympathy. The mask of virtue isn't deception. It's restraint. It's knowing when to show softness and when to reveal steel. Most people get this backwards. They expose their weaknesses to adversaries and show toughness only to those who already care about them. Smart individuals reverse that pattern. Machiavelli put it plainly: everyone sees what you appear to be, but very few ever experience who you truly are. Perception shapes outcomes. If you're perceived as weak, you'll be treated as weak. If you're perceived as formidable, the world adjusts accordingly. Write this down in the comments. I control my image. Now let's get practical. Number 4. The economics of power. Everything you do has a cost. Every favor. Every unnecessary yes. Every hour you give away. Every ounce of energy spent building someone else's priorities instead of your own. Most good people never calculate this. They just give until they're empty. Then they wonder why they feel exhausted, resentful, overlooked, and quietly angry. Here's the reality. Your time, energy, and resources are limited. This isn't philosophy. It's arithmetic. Every unit you spend outward is one you don't invest inward. Unlimited kindness drains strength, and drained people don't lead, they collapse. That's why airplane safety instructions tell you to secure your own oxygen mask before helping others. If you pass out trying to save someone, you've created another problem instead of a solution. Life works the same way. If you burn yourself out serving everyone else, you eventually become someone who needs saving. And once that happens, your influence disappears. Sustainable power requires conservation. This lesson isn't about becoming cold. It's about becoming durable. I learned this the hard way. For years, I said yes automatically. Every favor, every request, every quick question that turned into hours. I thought that made me virtuous. What it actually made me was resentful. My own goals stalled. My own projects suffered. And ironically, I became worse at helping the people who truly mattered. That's when it hit me. Saying yes to everyone means saying no to yourself. And when you abandon yourself long enough, you eventually abandon everyone else too. The most impactful givers in history weren't endlessly available. They were fiercely selective. They said no often, so their yes carried weight. Machiavelli captured this with brutal clarity. Anyone who wants obedience must first know how to command. And if you can't command your own time, energy, and resources, you will never command anything else. Write this in the comments. I protect my resources. Now let's refine everything you've heard. Number 5. The strategic use of virtue. This is where most people misunderstand everything. I'm not telling you to discard mercy, honesty, or generosity. I'm telling you to stop using them recklessly. Virtue, when used without strategy, becomes self-sabotage. Think of goodness like a weapon. A sword, lying untouched, protects no one. But in skilled hands, at the right moment, it can change the course of history. Your kindness should be intentional. Your mercy should be timed. Your generosity should be outcome-driven. Instead of helping everyone a little, help the right people decisively. Instead of being pleasant to everyone, be deeply loyal to those who matter. Instead of saying yes reflexively, say yes where it compounds. This does 3 things immediately. First, your help gains value because it's rare. Second, your impact increases because it's focused. Third, people respect you more because you're selective. Look at history. Martin Luther King Jr. wasn't gentle with injustice. He was relentless. Mother Teresa didn't try to save everyone. She focused obsessively on the most neglected. They were good people, but they were not naive. They used virtue as leverage, not as a popularity strategy. Here's how this looks in real life. Before agreeing to anything, ask yourself 3 questions. Does this align with my values and long-term goals? Can I do this without draining myself? Will this person respect and value what I'm offering? If the answer to any of these is no, you decline. calmly, firmly, without guilt. And when you do say yes, you commit fully. You deliver excellence. You create impact that's remembered. This is how generosity builds loyalty instead of entitlement. Machiavelli once wrote that promises belong to past necessity, but breaking them can belong to present survival. What he meant was simple. Sometimes honoring one obligation requires disappointing another. Sometimes protecting what matters most means appearing harsh elsewhere. And that's the price of real power. Sometimes protecting your future means disappointing people who feel entitled to your present. That's not cruelty. That's prioritization. Strategic virtue isn't about selfishness. It's about effectiveness. Write this in the comments. I choose effective kindness. Now let's dismantle one of the most dangerous illusions people live under. Number 6. The illusion of gratitude. This truth will permanently change how you see human behavior. Gratitude is temporary. That's hard to accept, but it's real. The favors you do, the sacrifices you make, the help you offer, all of it has an expiration date in people's minds. Repeated generosity doesn't deepen appreciation. It rewires expectation. What begins as, "Thank you so much," quietly shifts into, "Of course you will," and eventually mutates into, "Why didn't you?" You help someone move once, they're genuinely thankful. You help them again months later, still grateful, but less impressed. You help a third time, now it's normal. By the fourth time, they don't even ask. They assume. And if you can't show up, suddenly you're selfish, unreliable, disappointing. Nothing changed about your character. Only their expectations did. This is human psychology. We adapt quickly to good treatment. We normalize what was once exceptional. We stop seeing generosity as a gift and start seeing it as baseline behavior. In the end, people remember the benefit they received, not the kindness that delivered it. This pattern shows up everywhere. The coworker who always stays late becomes the default problem solver. The friend who always listens becomes emotional storage. The family member who always helps becomes the automatic solution. And the moment that person sets a boundary, they're accused of changing, of becoming cold, of letting people down. The paradox is brutal but consistent. The more consistently kind you are, the less your kindness is valued. The more available you become, the less meaningful your availability feels. The more you give without cost, the more people assume it costs you nothing. This is the illusion of gratitude. We believe doing more good earns more appreciation. In reality, it trains people to expect more and value less. Ironically, the people who appreciate you most are often those you help occasionally. The ones who take you for granted are usually the ones you help constantly. This doesn't mean people are evil. It means people are human. Humans adjust expectations based on experience. Understanding this doesn't require you to stop being kind. It requires you to stop being careless with it. Set limits. Make help conditional sometimes. Let people feel the absence of your support occasionally. Machiavelli captured this perfectly when he noted that people judge more by what they see now than what they felt before. Past kindness fades. Present behavior dominates perception. Your history of generosity becomes invisible. Your current refusal becomes the headline. Write this in the comments. I create lasting impact. Now, let's go deeper. Number 7. Results over intentions. The world does not reward motives. It rewards outcomes. You can have the purest heart imaginable. You can mean well every single time. If your actions don't produce results, none of that matters. History doesn't remember people who intended to help. It remembers people who changed things. Ask yourself honestly, would you rather be remembered as someone who was pleasant but ineffective, or someone who was firm but transformative? Most people choose the first option because it feels safe, But here's the hidden cost. Being remembered as merely nice is the fastest path to being forgotten. Sometimes real goodness doesn't look good in the moment. Surface-level kindness creates temporary comfort. Hard decisions create lasting change. A parent who disciplines a child isn't being cruel, they're shaping character. A teacher who gives tough feedback isn't heartless, they're preparing reality. A leader who sets high standards isn't mean, they're raising capability. True goodness is measured by results, not reactions. This is where many well-intentioned people fail. They prioritize being liked over being effective. They choose comfort over growth. They preserve short-term peace at the expense of long-term progress. But here's the uncomfortable truth. If your goodness isn't producing the outcomes you want, it isn't goodness, it's niceness, and those are not the same. Nice people avoid conflict. Good people resolve it. Nice people say what feels pleasant. Good people say what's necessary. Nice people maintain the status quo. Good people disrupt it for the better. The world is full of nice people who accomplished nothing. What it needs are good people who deliver results. When Machiavelli said the end justifies the means, he wasn't promoting evil. He was pointing out reality. Intentions don't matter if they don't produce beneficial outcomes. People don't live inside your intentions. They live with the consequences of your actions. Real goodness requires courage. It requires choosing outcomes over appearances. It requires asking, will this actually improve things? Instead of, will they like me? Because when all is said and done, people won't remember what you meant to do. They'll remember what you built, what you changed, and what endured. Write this down. I focus on outcomes. Now we arrive at the final layer. Number 8. Legacy and survival. Let's talk about what truly lasts. History doesn't celebrate the merely well-meaning. It remembers those who endured and shaped reality. Try naming 5 historically famous nice people. It's hard, but you can easily name people who created lasting change, even if they were difficult, demanding, or controversial. Steve Jobs wasn't gentle. He was obsessive, demanding, and often abrasive. But he reshaped how billions of people interact with technology. This isn't an endorsement of cruelty. It's a recognition of reality. Being remembered for impact is more valuable than being forgotten for agreeableness. Here's what most people miss about legacy. You cannot leave a meaningful mark if you don't survive long enough to make one. And survival, in careers, relationships, and life, requires more than goodness. It requires intelligence, strategy, boundaries, and the willingness to be firm when softness would destroy you. The most compassionate people can't save anyone if they're crushed by those who exploit them. The most generous people can't give when they've already emptied themselves. The most honest voices can't speak truth once they've been silenced by those who profit from lies. Survival comes first, then growth, then legacy. This is the order no one tells you about. You protect yourself so you can protect others. You build strength so you can lift weight without collapsing. You become formidable so your kindness actually carries force. That isn't selfish, it's strategic. It isn't cruelty, it's restraint. And it's not abandoning goodness, it's preserving it long enough for it to matter. Look closely at the people who create real, lasting change. They aren't doormats. They aren't approval seekers. They aren't afraid of boundaries, conflict, or difficult decisions. They understand something most never learn. Being good does not mean being weak. It means being powerful enough to choose goodness intentionally. Machiavelli captured this with uncomfortable precision when he wrote that if one must choose, it is safer to be feared than loved. What he was really saying is this: respect outlasts affection. Impact outlives popularity. Results outweigh feelings. You are not required to choose between strength and goodness. you can embody both. But if circumstances ever force a choice, choose strength first, because strength gives you the ability to be good when it actually counts. Weakness, even with noble intentions, only creates victims. Let's bring everything together. Goodness without strategy is a dangerous trap. It leaves you exposed to manipulation. It drains your energy until there's nothing left to give. It creates expectations you can't maintain, and it quietly prevents you from making the impact you claim to want. But goodness, guided by strategy, becomes something entirely different. It becomes protection. It becomes influence. It becomes leverage for meaningful change. You now understand the real cost of blind virtue, why generosity can imprison you, why gratitude fades, why good intentions mean nothing without tangible results. More importantly, you now know how to convert goodness into strength, how to give without self-destruction, how to help without being consumed, how to act in ways that actually move the world. Before you leave, make a decision. Will you continue being good the old way, unlimited, unguarded, and eventually broken? Or will you step into a higher standard, strategic, effective, and powerful? Here's the question that defines everything going forward. Will you allow goodness to weaken you? Or will you master it and turn it into authority? The knowledge is now yours. What you do with it is your responsibility. If this message challenged how you see the world, engage with it. If you want more truths that cut through comforting lies, stay connected. And if someone in your life is still bleeding from blind virtue, share this with them, because goodness is not your weakness. When wielded deliberately, it becomes your sharpest strength. Write this final declaration in the comments. I master strategic goodness. And remember this, in a world full of wolves, don't become a sheep. Become the one who understands the wolves and still chooses to protect, not through fragility, but through wisdom, discipline, and strength. I'll see you in the next one.